Would you like to learn how to make some delicious barbecue air-fried roast beef? Just like this? You would? Good. Because in this episode of the Lisa D's Delight Show, I'm going to show you how to do it.
Lisa D Delight.
Here are a few things that you will need, but the exact ingredient list and measurements and such will be in the description box below. So I'm using an Angus roast for this recipe, but when you pick out your roast, you just want to be mindful that it's small enough that it will fit in your air fryer. Let us begin by chopping up some fresh flat leaf Italian parsley, as well as some rosemary and fresh thyme. We're going to use the fresh herbs to season the roast beef, but we're also going to put some to the side, and we're going to also use it to season the veggies. Let's also chop up those veggies nice and fast like this. I just gave my onions, garlic, celery, and potatoes a rough chop. To ensure that this roast beef is seasoned well, we're going to inject it full of flavors. We start out by making a quick mushroom broth with this better than bouillon mushroom base. This stuff is really good. You just mix some of it with some hot water. Or you can use beef broth from the box. I was just trying to help your palate. So to make the marinade, pour some salted melted butter into the broth, as well as some why in the world would they name it that sauce, a little bit of liquid smoke, and some Kinder's Butcher's all-purpose seasoning. Or you can use your favorite seasoned salt. By marinating the meat, it helps to make it more tender. Not only does the butter help to do so, but the vinegar and the why in the world would you name it that sauce, the acid in the vinegar helps to break down the tough proteins in the meat, which helps to make it tender, because the kitchen is the wrong room for hard meat. Oh my God. Stir, stir, stir. Now let's inject the marinade into the roast. Pour the marinade into a tall glass just like so. Pouring it into a glass makes it easier to fill the syringe. You can find these syringes at supermarkets or Amazon. I love to use injections in large pieces of meat like this because, the meat is so big, by injecting it, you're sure to make it flavorful all inside and out. So just make jabs all over and inject the seasoning all throughout the meat. Hold your hand over it though, because it does tend to squirt out. Now let's work on a seasoning paste for the outside of the roast. Get you a stick of room temperature butter and add some fresh garlic to it, some fresh thyme, rosemary, and flat leaf Italian parsley, as well as some why in the world would they name it that sauce and some Kinder's Butcher's all-purpose seasoning. This Kinder seasoning is really good. It has salt, onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, and other yumminess in it. Even though it has all of that, I still like to go in with a little of my own onion powder and garlic powder and black pepper. But I don't use any salt because, like I said, the Kinder's already has salt. I'm using salted butter, and I'm about to add some better than bouillon mushroom base, which is also pretty salted. And I'm also adding a little accent, but that's optional. It's MSG. But child, if you're surviving these crazy times we're in right now, a little accent sure ain't gonna take you out. So I added the mushroom base, and now I'm just gonna mix it up really well, get everything all nice and well combined. And I'm gonna put some of the seasoning paste to the side to season the veggies. Now I laid down some saran wrap on top of my island, and I'm going to proceed to slather this yummy seasoning paste all over the pot roast, or roast beef, or whatever you want to call it. Get that seasoning paste all up in every nook and every cranny. Now we're going to force infuse the meat by wrapping it tightly with some saran wrap so that seasoning has nowhere else to go. It can't escape. The only place that flavor can go is right back into the meat. And you just want to kind of swaddle it like it's a little baby yummy roast. I'm gonna let the roast marinate in the fridge overnight, but if you don't have that type of time, at least let it marinate for 1 hour.
Many hours later.
So it's the next morning, and I let the roast sit out on the countertop for about 45 minutes to get it to room temperature. You never want to cook cold meat because it won't cook evenly. I have an air fryer oven, and it happens to have a rotisserie thingy in it. So that's how I'm going to roast it. But if you don't have that, you can just set the roast directly in your air fryer basket. And don't be lazy like me. Season the bottom of the roast and tie it up. I'm going to air fry it at 375 for 50 minutes, and then we're going to check it. In the meantime, while the roast is cooking, Let us work on the veggies. I added some carrots and I'm gonna hit it with some thyme, rosemary, and parsley. And I melted down some of that garlic herb butter that we made, and I'm adding that to the veggies as well. I'm also adding some of that Butcher's all-purpose. My air fryer has 3 shelves, so normally I would roast the vegetables in the air fryer with the roast, but because I'm using a rotisserie, I'm gonna have to roast the veggies separate. So after 50 minutes, the roast is looking like a whole snack. Let's go ahead and take the internal temperature. We're sitting at an internal temp of 125. Me personally, I don't like to eat my meat when it still has enough blood left in it that it could get up and walk away. So personally, I'm looking for an internal temp of about well done 160. But I know some of you are weird, different. So here's a chart so that you can do you, boo-boo. I put the roast back in the air fryer for 1 hour at 375, and then it was done. Then I just added some of my favorite barbecue sauce to it. You know that Sweet Baby Ray's be hitting. And then I put it back in the air fryer for 10 minutes just so that the sauce gets set. Once done, it'll look something like this.
Lisa D delight.
Look at God. Won't he do it? Yes, he will, all the time. This roast beef came out so good. Just so flavorful and moist and juicy. Who would have thunk it that you can make pot roast in the air fryer? You sure can, and it's faster too. The whole thing only took about 2 hours to cook. It's the perfect way to cook your holiday roast beef because you know your oven and stuff is gonna be tied up, so you might as well use that air fryer. Tell me in the comments if you're ready for Thanksgiving and what you're gonna be cooking. I'm not ready yet, but I sure better get ready. Wanna see the inside of my yummy roast beef? Of course you do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. After all, I was just trying to help your palate. God bless you. Bye.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. And you make it so good. Make sure you like and subscribe.